Hello everyone, welcome to another live stream here at my YouTube channel. I'm so happy you're here. Over in the chat, I saw all of you saying hello. I think Amanda's been here for like 10 minutes or so. Hello, thank you Amanda for moderating. I think Andrea's here as well. Yes, I see Andrea. So tonight's live stream is going to be a little bit different. I have always shied away from using paste during a live stream because of the amount of time it takes to dry. But I'm hoping tonight that we can make it work because we're going to do a Q&A while the paste dries. So I've done a little prep work so that we can get the layering of all the paste going. And then we'll actually do the layering of the paste, and then we'll have to wait for it to dry. We'll do what we can in the meantime, but after we run out of things to do to prep the rest of the card, we will have to wait for the paste to dry. And for that, I thought it would be fun to do a Q&A. So if you have a burning question that you need answered, whether it's crafting related or otherwise, I'm going to have you put it in the chat. I'm going to start the Q&A now, but you can enter your questions and things like that, but I'm going to save them and answer them during that segment of the video or of the live stream. So if you have a question or if you think of one as we're going along here that you would like answered, go ahead and put it in the little question area of the chat. I've never done a Q&A like this before. I hope it works. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. Okay. All right. I'm going to go back to the live chat so I could see what everyone is saying. Okay. So tonight's kind of idea came about when I was like, I wonder if you could layer different colors of paste on top of each other. I'm sure someone's tried this before. I'm sure it's not a new thing, but I thought I would go ahead and try it tonight. So I'm using some relief paste from Altenew. To be honest, it's because it's one of the only pastes I have that is not dried out. That tells me I need to be using paste more often. So, but I did do kind of like a trial run of this to try to figure out if it worked, and it kind of did. Let me grab it. This was a very rough draft, but I layered a purple paste and then a gold paste on top. So this is actually amethyst, and then I layered brass on top. And I was thinking the reason why this sort of works is because, in particular, my layered lattice stencils, the second layer goes completely over the first layer. So all the purple was down, and then the gold goes all over the top of the purple. So it's like everything that's exposed is one layer. So I thought it might work. I don't know. It looks pretty cool. You can see that there's a little bit of a dimension to it. Yeah, I don't know. Okay. All right. Just a reminder, if you have questions, make sure you put them in the question prompt area. I'm not sure if they're going in there or not. I can also scroll back, but I won't be able to scroll back all the way to the beginning of the live stream. So if you had like a question, you read out question, copy and paste that into the actual questions area that is pinned at the top of the chat. Pretty sure that's what you do. Maybe. I only see 2 questions right now. So one from Amanda and one from Leanne. So I don't know. Yeah. If you have a question, put it at the top of the thing. Does that make sense? Wendy doesn't see it. Oh no. Does anyone else see it at the top? I've never done a Q&A like this. Okay, Amanda's going to try to add them. Thank you. Thank you so much, Amanda. Amanda can see them. Okay. All right. Amanda's going to try to add them because I think it saves them as I put them in. Okay. Lovely. All right. So I'm feeling this. Oh, it is not dry. I just got paste all over myself. See, this is why this is going to be a challenge tonight because we're trying to keep things speedy. I don't want to just sit here and watch paste dry, but also we have to wait for the paste to dry. Okay, so let's get going on this other one. I have done the first layer. This is the first layer that I did. And I used my layered lattice stencil pack. So in this stencil pack, you have 6 stencils, and there's 3 designs and they're in pairs. So these 2 go together to create a pattern. And then these 2 go together to create a pattern, and they're not lining up. Here we go. Turn those around. Here we go. Now they line up. And this is the one that I used for this pattern right here. Right? So I used that one for it. And then for this one, I used these 2 stencils. Well, only one of them so far. So I use this one, the one that has more openings in it. That's what I did for this first layer of the paste. Let me zoom out here. So, and I've let it dry. I don't think it's like fully dry, but it's very close. I can tell. I was hitting it with my heat tool quite a bit. The thing that's interesting about the Altenew relief paste is they almost turn plastic. They're very smooth, very shiny. They have a very kind of rubbery plastic feel when they're dry. So just keep that in mind for when you do, whenever you use the paste. Okay, so let's do this second layer of paste. This first one was done with Beryl. And then I'm going to layer a dark blue Galactic Skies over top. Won't that be really pretty? So when I did this one, it is on powder cardstock. So it's on a pale blue cardstock. I'm doing kind of like a tone on tone thing with a pale blue, a little bit more of a darker kind of aqua, and then a much darker blue. So that is where we're going tonight. Let me get my grip mat. I'm just going to put this over here. I have no idea how this is going to line up. I'll have to figure that out before I go in here to do anything. Okay, it's like this. Okay. In fact, I'm going to take my little Altenew corner off because we are not layering this right now. And I want to be able to get this. See, it doesn't want to stick to the grip mat, so this might be a little bit of a challenge. All right, and I've got to oh no, I can't see where it is. Okay, I can sort of see it now. It's very subtle. But I'm hoping that sticking the stencil down will hold it down. Okay. Yeah, I think that's lined up pretty well. I'm kind of amazed that it lined up so well. All right, I am using, hold on. Let me move this. There we go. Much better. Okay, so again, I'm using Galactic Skies Relief Paste from Altenew. It's Shimmer Relief Paste. And I'm using a palette knife that has a really long edge. Now, Simon Hurley actually has like a big, I don't even know what he calls it. It's like a huge square piece of plastic that you can like spread across. That would probably work even better than this. I have that. It has wandered away. I'm not sure where it's at. I did a quick search in my craft room and I couldn't find it. So we're just using this old palette knife. I also have a black one from Tim Holtz. I have that linked down in the video description. But okay, so I'm going to just put this directly on top, like frosting a cake. I want to make sure I get enough of this relief paste to coat every single section. So it's going to go off onto my grip mat a little bit, getting it all over my hand. Okay, I want to make sure there's no areas without this paste. And then I'm just kind of scraping it because I want to get the most even coverage possible. Okay. Close up my relief paste. If I can get the lid on correctly. There we go. All right, close it up tight. I'm going to take me off screen because I've got to go clean all this stuff in a moment here. But first, I'm going to peel up the stencil. Oh, this is even better than I thought. Oh, that looks so cool. Oh my gosh. Okay. All right, before I go take care of this, I'm going to set that aside up here. I just need to peel up the cardstock without getting it all over myself, which could be tricky. Okay, do you guys see this? It's really cool looking. All right, I'm going to set this aside to dry. I want to give it like a good 10 to 15 minutes just to dry on its own. And then I'm going to come back and with my heat tool, very like dispersed heat, I'm going to try to dry it and like help it along. So I'm actually going to set this aside off camera because I want to make sure I don't accidentally like put my whole hand in it. Okay. And like, even so, being super careful, I still have it like all over my hand. And I also want to clean up my grip mat before I let it dry. Okay. Just trying to get all of that shimmer off. It does want to stick. I think I'm just spreading it around everywhere. Okay. Then I'm going to wipe off my palette knife. And I think this blue really stained it. All right. And then I'm going to go over to my sink and I have like a nail brush. I'll show you the brush here in a minute. I'm going to be off camera for a minute. And I really like scrub the stencil while there's water running over top. Oh yeah, this dark blue is everywhere. I'm essentially using a nail brush. Hold on. I gotta clean my hands and then push the sleeves of my jacket up. Oh my gosh, this is like sticking to my hands, like it is not coming off. Oh joy. Okay, back to the stencil. The more water I have running over the stencil, the easier it is to get all the paste off. Okay, and I'm making sure I turn the stencil onto the back. Like I'm scrubbing both sides. Because I don't want any paste remaining on the stencil because it will prevent the stencil from being flush with cardstock the next time I go to use it. So my sink is notorious for taking 10 years to get the water warm, and it finally warmed up there. So that tells you how long it was running. Are you kidding me? Holy crap. The Simon Hurley little thing that I was talking about, it was by my sink, drying from some other time I used it. Ta-da! This is what it is. Of course, I find it after I'm done with all my stenciling. Oh, come on. Okay, there's like shimmer right there. And I can't get this off my hands. Like, what in the world? She was using the shimmer paste with reinkers and sand. Oh, and she mentioned me that I wouldn't do the same, and here we are. That's funny. Mike, her brother, texted me, and he's like, she's getting all inky. And I should have looked. I didn't even look. And then today I'm just randomly using paste. A sponge with a rough, scratchy side. Oh, yeah, yeah. Oh, I was going to show you the brush I use. It's actually a nail brush. So it has really stiff bristles, and I only use it for cleaning stencils. But this is what it looks like. It's a little cheapy brush. You can get like a pack of 5 on Amazon for super inexpensive. So that's what I use for my stencils. And I just put the stencil in the bottom of the sink and then scrub it with that. Hold on. I'm going to try using a craft scrubby to get the, oh yeah, the craft scrubby takes it right off. If you guys have never used a craft scrubby to wash your hands, oh, I don't know what you're doing because it's amazing. I'll show you what that is in a minute too. I totally got paste on my nail polish. I doubt that's going to come off. Good thing I'm going to be painting my nails tomorrow. So a craft scrubby is sort of like a pumice stone almost, but not really. It is kind of the same idea, like it's very fibrous and it's got like, it's like a very fine grit to it. And if you have any spots on your hand, you can get it wet and like I've got just a little bit of paste here and there and I can just scrub my hand with it. But I got some on my nail polish right here and that's not coming off. Oh, Amanda, thank you for linking that nail brush. All right. I think I have been saved from all the paste, except there's some on my Griffin mat right here. I can still see it. So I don't know how I'm going to get that off. That kind of did it. I have any more spots? Yes, right here. Kind of like inspecting it. Trying to get as much paste off as I can. Okay, so for the greeting on the card tonight, I thought it would be really fun. We're going to do kind of a layered greeting. Not layered, but, you know, stacked, which is not unusual. I love a good stacked greeting. So I'm going to be using the Here For You dies. And I realized I have never used this on my channel. I've like showed you the die set. I believe it came out in November, but I've never used it. So here we are. I took the It Will Be Okay sentiment and I cut out the shadow part. Let's see. There we go. That's what it will be. I think. No. What is it doing? Why can I not figure out? Yeah, that's it right there. Okay. All right. And then I cut out the words once out of just regular cardstock and then 3 times out of cardstock that has Altenew adhesive sheet on the back. You guys see that? So they're kind of like stickers. It's going to make it super easy to layer. So I'm first going to adhere the plain letters down. I guess I could have made these stickers too. But at the time, I hadn't decided if I was going to have them have it adhered onto a shadow layer or if it was going to go directly onto the card itself. So that's why I didn't use adhesive sheets on for this one. All right, so just a little bit of glue. And then just get that in the right spot. You can use a paperweight just to hold that down for a moment. And then we can put some glue on this other piece. I love like putting stacked die cut words on top of vellum because it gives you somewhere to put the adhesive on the back of the vellum. Because you can just put it on the back, like where the white die cut is. Hold on, I want to like slide this down a little bit. There we go. That's lined up a little better now. Okay. So then I have all of these that are stickers. So I can turn them over, and I'm going to take the release paper off the back. If I can get it to come off. There we go. And then I can just really easily layer it right on top. And I don't have any glue that I have to work with. I don't always use full sheet adhesive to stack things. A lot of times I just use glue. But I really do love the really clean look of using the full adhesive sheets. Okay. Oh, Andrea says she could use this grading tonight. Couldn't we all? Right? You just need some reassurance that things will be okay. Sometimes, you know, like when you're a kid, that's something that, you know, a parent would say, like, it'll be okay. Don't worry about it. It'll be okay. And sometimes as an adult, you need someone to say that to you, right? That's just how it works sometimes. Okay, so you can see that that's stacked up just on one side. So now we're going to do the other half. Oh, just kidding. I have to remove the sticker part. If you guys have any questions for me to answer after I have my sentiments all figured out, because that's really the only thing I have to do after we finish that background and it's dry. If you have other questions, up at the top of the chat window, you should see an area to input your questions. Okay. Have I ever tried putting one layer of words behind the vellum? Yes, but actually I do more than one layer. When I do that, I like to stack the letters behind. It's almost like putting the vellum piece on foam adhesive. That's kind of the equivalent of that. And it makes it float up off the surface of your card. Okay. Got a little schmutz on that one. I don't know what that is, so I'm glad that is not the one that's the final one. Let's see. Yeah, the Rachel Craft Scrubby is different than the older ones. I want to say the older ones were like rectangles. They almost looked more like traditional soap. And then they have these new ones that are like round. I did not notice a difference in how effective they are or how the texture, if there is a texture difference. Sounds like you're saying you've noticed a difference, so I don't know. Oh no, it looks like I cut this when there was not, like it was on the edge of the cardstock, and so some of it does not have the adhesive on it. Oops. So I am going to put a little bit of glue just at the tail end down here, just a couple little dots, so that it adheres. There we go. Then we'll put this right on top. Okay. I can see where the glue is squidging out a little bit. That's okay. All right, so there's the grading. You can see how much dimension that has. Oh, I love that. I'm going to do a sub grading as well. So let's stamp that. I'm going to be using the Everything Will Be Okay stamps right here. I thought I would just do You Got This, or, well, any of these would really be good. Any of the smaller ones, like It Will Be Okay, You Are Stronger Than You Know, Sending Hugs, You Can Weather This Storm, Each Day is One Step Closer. I was going to do You Got This. Yeah, I think, or maybe just Sending Hugs. Maybe I'll just do Sending Hugs. We'll do Sending Hugs. Oh, mine doesn't look like the new one. It's blue. It's blue and oval. Oh my gosh, they've really changed it. Okay. Well, I do not have, I thought I had the newer one. I have the 2 versions ago, I guess. Too funny. You know what? I don't think this purple lid is on all the way. I can't tell. It doesn't feel like it's on all the way. I don't think it is. It's probably this paper that's in the way or something. Well, I guess I'll just close it as tight as I can and hope for the best. Okay. So the greeting, You've Got This. I thought since the colors of the paste were like blues, maybe I'd use Midnight cardstock from Concord and Ninth. So I have some Midnight cardstock in here. Let me zoom out some more. There we go. And then we'll do Sending Hugs. And I'm going to use a die to cut this out, so I'm not all that concerned if this is straight on the cardstock. I'm going to use an anti-static powder tool. And then white pigment ink. All right, and I'm just going to barely let that stamp down. And I'm going to do it multiple times. Not pressing on the stamp too much, because if you do, it will really blob out on this very dainty greeting. Okay. Pick this up. I'm going to clean off my stamp over here. Okay. Then I'm doing white embossing powder. This is Alabaster from Brutus Monroe. And I'm going to tap it a bunch of different directions to try to make sure that the powder hits all those letters. Looks beautiful. And then I will hit this with my heat tool. And Jennifer McGuire says to heat from the bottom, and I think it works best too. So I'm going to do that. I'm just watching for when it melts. There it goes. It's melting. All right, I think that did it. I'm going to let this cool off. And then I'm going to use a microfiber cloth to pick up any of that white powder. Okay. All right, and then I'm going to clean up any of this anti-static powder, and a little bit of elbow grease, like a little bit of pressure with the microfiber towel cleans that up really easily. And then you have like a super nice embossed greeting. All right, I'm going to cut this out with one of the dies from my Essentials dies. This one right here. Just have it cut out that strip. Run this through my die cutting sheet. All right. So after I have this done, it will be time to do a Q&A. And I'm thinking maybe do like 15 minutes or so of Q&A while we wait for that paste to dry. And then I'll have to hit it with my heat tool again, I'm sure, because it's paste. So it takes some time to dry. Okay, so we have the It Will Be Okay and Sending Hugs. Let me clean up here a little bit. Okay. All right, now we're going to do Q&A. Q&A time. This shirt is very drapey, apparently. Okay, so now I'm going to go and see what the questions are. Oh, good. We have quite a few. Okay. Leanne is asking, where do you get, let's see, hold on. Let me see if I can do this. Select question. Okay. Where do you get your inspiration for your monthly releases? How far in advance you have to submit to Concord and Ninth for production? So where do I get inspiration? Well, sometimes it's a matter of like necessity. For example, my baby stuff that came out last summer. Was it last summer or the summer before? I think it was last summer. Like the little star bundle. It had a stencil set, had stamps, had some dies. That was out of necessity because I was making lots of baby cards and I wanted some specific baby items. So I would kind of design what I would want on a card and then reverse engineer that. So like, here's this pattern I kind of want. And then I would, okay, that's going to become a stencil. Here are some greetings I want. That's going to become the stamps or the dies, something like that. So that's one way of how I design product. Another way is, gosh, like Christmas stuff. Christmas in particular as a holiday has tons of imagery that you could use. So you've got winter greenery, you've got flowers, you've got like stars and gift boxes and presents and candy canes and like gingerbread. And there's just like lots of different imagery. So sometimes what I'll do is I'll just do like an internet search and just get a bunch of different things that are inspiring and then try to figure out how to meld those into something of my own. It really comes from a lot of different places. I think the most successful and most useful things that I have designed for my line are the products that either are a request from all of you. You guys always have the best suggestions, and you're real crafters, and that's why they work. Or they are ones that I personally want for my crafting. Like I might see a particular shape, or like my thin frames. Like I designed some for Simon Says Stamp years and years ago, and then they retired them. And I thought, well, I still want them. So then I designed my own version of them. And that has like morphed into like kind of a line of products. So it comes from a lot of different places. As far as how far in advance that we work, it really depends on what time of year it is, because everything's manufactured in China. So there are certain times of the year that are a little bit more jam-packed for the factories in China, particularly around Chinese New Year, which is about this time of year. They shut down completely and everyone takes a vacation and no one's working. And so because that's coming up, we have to work further in advance. So most of the time we're working anywhere from 3 to 4 months in advance. I just submitted a couple of weeks ago all of my designs for my May release. So, about 3 months out. That's about what it is. Okay. Sarah's asking, how often do you do your nails? Probably every 5 to 7 days. It really just depends on, well, if I'm going somewhere or if I need to make sure that my nails look nice or something. So if it's getting close to that past 5-7 days, and I'm going to be filming a video or going live with you all or something, I might be like, oh, I need to paint my nails before I do that. So generally every 5 to 7 days. I try not to go any longer than that because my nails tend to be really, really dry. So I really need that time in between polishes to really oil up my nails, soak in the hydration, and give them like a little bit of a spa break in between. Because I do oil my nails, not as much as I should, but frequently. I do oil my cuticles and stuff, put on hand cream, but it doesn't penetrate the nail bed as much as putting that on a naked nail. So having that time in between polishes is important. Okay, let's see. Thoughts on Bridgerton season 4? Well, I can't say too much in case people haven't watched, but I will say, as someone who has read the books, I read the books years and years ago, I think when I was in college, or maybe a little bit after I graduated, but I read the books, and I found it interesting that they really truncated the timeline for the TV show. In the books, I'm not giving any of the ending away, right? I'm not going to do that. But this is only in part 1 when this happens. In between the masquerade and when Benedict sees Sophie out in the country, in the book, it's years in between. But in the TV show, it's like a few weeks. It's a month. They totally truncated it. And it makes the fact that he doesn't recognize her almost even more ridiculous. But if it had been like 2 or 3 years since he had seen her, that would make more sense that he doesn't recognize her. Anyway, little pin, like, maybe just being picky. Anyway, let's see here. Stacy's asking, how did you first get into crafting? Also, do you ever do simple cards anymore? Well, I kind of think most of my cards are pretty simple, but I guess it's up to interpretation. How did I get into crafting? I got into crafting, like a lot of you, through Stampin' Up. But mine was a little different because I got into crafting through Stampin' Up because I was employed by Stampin' Up. I was not a crafter before they hired me. I was designing their catalog. And then I was seeing all the fun things that people were creating with the product. And I was like, I want to do that. That looks fun. So that's where it started. Wendy's saying, I thought season 4 was the weakest. You know what? I would tend to agree. Like, it's not my favorite of the storylines. Like, of the books, I really love Eloise. And, so that's coming up. We don't know when that'll be, but in the future. And I really did like Francesca, although they have taken some liberties on changing her storyline and the timeline of when everything happens as well. So, yeah. Okay, let's see here. Oh, here's one. Here's a fun one. What breed are your cats? So, my cats are American Shorthair. A lot of people, and I did too, can get confused. They think like a domestic Shorthair and an American Shorthair are the same thing. It's not. A domestic Shorthair is kind of like an umbrella term for many of the Shorthair cats that are out there. Street cats, just any cat with like short fur, short hair. American Shorthair is a specific breed and they have specific traits. They generally are tabby cats. So they have stripes and dots on their belly. And I think the most common American Shorthair is a silver tabby, and that's what Fred and Kevin are. But there are other colors as well. You can have one that's more white, like more white features, and then just some stripes here and there. There's ones that are called a smoky tabby, where they have a little bit of that tabby stripe, but it's almost like a dark gray and a black, like almost like just barely you can see the coloring, and that's why they call it smoky. And then I've also seen ones that are orange, and I think they're so dang cute. I almost got orange American Shorthairs before I got Sophie and Daphne years ago. So interesting. By the way, Fred is a long hair American Shorthair, and that's just because he got a recessive gene to have long hair. During the summer, he loses his winter coat, and you can see more of the patterning. It's more apparent. But right now, in the middle of winter, he's very fluffy, and he just looks like a big fluff ball, and there's not much, you can't see much of the patterning. But anyway. Sophie and Daphne were also American short hair cats. Yes. Let's see here. Looking, scrolling down. This is a good question. I have not done this, but you know, I thought I'd put it up here. Has anyone done a comparison between Beryl Arts art glitter and Gina K glues? I have not. I've used only 2 of those, but I do know that like, or I'm fairly certain, I cannot say for sure, but I suspect that the Lawn Fawn glue, Honeybee glue, the one that I use a lot, and the Gina K, I suspect they are all basically the same glue, but they have different bottles. So it just depends on your preference on what bottle you want. I think that's the case. I'm not sure. Beryl Arts glue, they have a completely different bottle. I'm not really sure. Let's see here. I'm trying to scroll down to these questions. Okay, hold on. Let's see, hold on. Scrolling down. Oh, here's a good question. All right, would you ever consider putting out a line of critter stamps to color and make a line kind of like Mom Elephant style? I would love that just because I love to color, but like drawing and illustrating like that is not my strong suit, but I'm working on it. I'm going to be taking a class on illustration because I want to get better at it. And I think I might be able to pull it off because I am really picky. I do have particular styles that I like. So because I'm picky, I think I will be able to self-edit and really get the illustrations somewhere. But people who come out with really cute critters and it's like their own style, amazing. I love it. I love it so much. I would love to do it someday. We'll see if it happens. Okay, let's see here. Andrea, oh dear. Andrea says, are pasty fingers better than inky fingers? Maybe because it was easy. Actually, no, I think they're worse. Because if you have paste, it like spreads, you know, until it dries. Everything you touch, it's going to like. But when you have inky fingers, generally, you're not going to be spreading the ink very many places. You know, like it's mostly dry and really absorbed into your skin, at least for me. So I think pasty fingers are worse. Yeah. Yeah. Leanne is asking, let's see, what was the best part of Disney Destiny? Okay, so that was the cruise ship that I was on at the end of January. The best part. We ended up having the most amazing dinner on our very last night. It was unplanned. We had not anticipated it. It was a last minute reservation and we really should have anticipated it to get the full effect because it was a 9-course meal. So we all showed up and we had had regular breakfast, regular lunch. We had had snacks. I think Jennifer had popcorn before we went to dinner because we had no clue what this restaurant was and that it was 9 courses of the most amazing, delicious French food. Anyway, our waiter was so funny because we were all struggling. We were only on like a 4th or 5th course, and we were like eating like birds. We were just taking a little bit here and there and eating it and tasting it basically. And our waiter, his name was Jesse, he was like so concerned. He was like, is something wrong with the food? And then we said, no, it's wonderful. It's beautiful. It's so delicious. We didn't know we were coming here tonight. And we ate regular meals beforehand, not knowing that we would have all of this delicious food. And he looked so relieved. He was like, oh my gosh, I'm so glad you told me that. And he was like, whew, okay. Because he was really concerned that we were not eating. Anyway, my favorite course of that entire meal was the cheese course. There were many types of cheese to taste. It was delicious. Okay. Let's see here. What's this next question? Would adhesive transfer to the die when you die cut through a sticker sheet repeatedly? I don't think so. I haven't experienced that. I have die cut a lot of a die using those adhesive sheets. from Altenew, and I have not noticed any stickiness that's left on the dye itself. No. Let's see. Leanne says, was dessert counted as part of the 9? I think so, but technically we must have had 10 because they said like, are you celebrating anything? And we said, yes, Sika's birthday was in January. So then they brought up like a birthday cake. So we had birthday cake and then the desserts. So I think we had 10 courses technically. What is the most rewarding part of your job? I think the most rewarding part is when I see people on Instagram tagging me and their creations when they've used my product. I love that. I love seeing how other people interpret what I have designed, because when I design something, I have a specific use in mind. So it's so fun for me to see someone use it completely different than how I imagined it. So yeah, that's probably my favorite part. Okay, here we go. Amanda, this is a question from Organized by Calico. How do you know it's time to change the magnetic mat for your Empress? Mine bubbled or bumped up and I can't use it, but it seems like it's fast. It cut off the rest of it. I don't know. But okay, so how do you know when to, well, when it stops cutting, mostly when it stops cutting, because as you use it, it will start to like spread out. And in fact, you know what? Do I still have that magnetic mat? Oh, I don't. I don't have it right here. It's like it gets squished down and it kind of spreads and it gets bigger than the original footprint. So it gets thinner and thinner, and then eventually you won't have enough thickness to cut anymore. So that's generally when I replace my magnetic mat. And that mostly happens because I'm cutting into it. That spread on it. But if you don't cut into your magnetic mat, it probably won't spread that much. Yeah. Okay, let's see. But also, when you go to replace your mat, you might save it, save the old one, because you can use it when you want to cut like metallic papers and you don't want the little nubbies, like the little circles from the die to show up. It just has less pressure, so it might still cut the paper, but it won't leave all those little impressions. Let's see here. From Jennifer H. I first started following your channel, I think 10 years ago. Wow, it's a long time ago. I've been inspired lately to pull out my stamps again. Do you think you'd be doing this so many years later? Maybe. I think I knew some form of crafting, something in the crafting world, just because, for one, it was my job. And also because I just love it so much. And I love the industry. And so many of my good friends are, in the industry or working for other companies. And it's just fun. So I kind of knew I probably would be, but, I guess you just never know. This is a really good question. It was initially from Anita. Do you like to stand or sit when you craft? I generally sit, and that's mostly because I feel like I have a more steady hand. Like if I'm standing, I can't do any intricate or delicate work, particularly with like painting or watercolor or things like that. Holding on to little intricate dies, things like that. I feel like I'm much more stable when I'm sitting. That might be because I'm tall. So when I'm standing, the standard counter height of my island is not high enough that I could rest my arms against the edge of the counter of the table. But when I'm sitting, I can rest my hands or rest my arms so that I can be more stable. So yeah, but mostly and sitting, because I feel like I'm standing. If I'm maybe it would be different if I just decided to stand more. But if I was standing, I would get tired, and I'm like and then I'd rush and hurry, and I wouldn't take my time. So that's mostly where I'm at. Okay. Who started the do first? What do you mean? I don't even know. I'm not sure. I'm not sure what you mean. Is it like when I'm like doing something like, I don't know. I think Jennifer does kind of like a little, I don't know, what she's like, I don't know. I don't entirely know. I can't describe it. Brenda asked, do you ever get a designer block? Yeah, sometimes, but over the years I've had to just work through it, because when you're working full-time as a designer, like, yes, there are times when your inspiration and your creativity comes more easily, and there are other times when you sort of have to force it. And a lot of the times you force it and then come back later when you're feeling more inspired, and you can like fix it, add to it, edit it, add more to it, something like that. Okay. Oh, and then Laura's saying, make coloring stencils too, like for outline images. What do you do? What do you do in your downtime? Well, most recently, I have been obsessed with the Mahjong, American Mahjong. It has become my entire personality. Just today, I started a spreadsheet where like I'm keeping track of all of the different Mahjong items that I have purchased. And let me tell you, it was humbling, and it was telling me I need to step away from my credit card. I need to stop buying tiles and racks and mats and more like the playing cards. I need to step away and not. As a crafter, you probably also have the collector's gene. I have the collector's gene. I suffer with full set syndrome, as we say. And so if I get some tiles, I want to get the mat that matches, and you know, all that type of thing. So anyway, so I have been collecting Mahjong, but I've also really been playing. I feel like it's been worth it. I play online, and when I don't have anyone to play with, I'm hosting Mahjong nights at my house. I'm soon going to make them more on a weekly basis instead of just monthly and twice a month. So I'm just obsessed with it. Yes. Amanda says, OMG, there's so many clubs and pop-ups near me. It's great. I have loved it since I was a little kid. I would love to play Mahjong with you someday. Yes. Do you play, like, which version of Mahjong do you play? Like, I don't know, because most of the people that I've met that have played since they were little, they're generally playing Chinese or Japanese Mahjong, or maybe even, is it Richi? Is that how? I can't remember how you say it. But there's all these different versions. So American Mahjong is the one that's kind of having its own little heyday right now. It's been popular, I would say, really big the last 10 years, but then in the last 5, it's been really ramping up, just from what I've learned. And yeah, I've been playing since September. Diana, I will totally teach you. Taiwan and Hong Kong Mahjong. Perfect. I love that. Diana and Leanne, I will make you play when I see you at the end of the month. For sure. Well, my friend Leslie, you'll meet Leslie too, and she knows how to play. So if it's just the 4 of us, we will play. Yes, if you've played Jin Rummy, you know how to play Mahjong. Yes, Sika taught me how to play Chinese Mahjong, which I think is probably the Hong Kong Mahjong that you're talking about. And it is one where you can sit down and play right away much more easily in comparison to American Mahjong, which does have I was going to say a little bit of a learning curve, but it's a lot of it of a learning curve, but still good. Like, I love the challenge, and that's one of the things that attracted me to it. Okay, I'm going to answer a few more questions. We'll go till like the top of the hour, and then I'm going to check on the paste. Okay. Oh, this is funny. Do you ever get recognized when you're traveling? Any memorable encounters? When I've been traveling? No. I don't believe I've ever been recognized unless it was a crafting event. And in that case, that's a little bit more expected. I was recognized out in public once here locally, but even so, I was at Michael's Arts and Crafts. And so I don't really count that. Okay. From Andrea, do you ever look at older things you've made and grown, or do you see how you've improved to think, damn, I'm good now? if anything, I see stuff that I've designed in the past and I want to change it. I don't necessarily like hate anything, but I want to be like, oh, I would do something different now, or I would have tweaked this here or there, or sometimes after using the product, I realize, oh, I should have done it this way. It would have made it easier to use, like something like that. Yeah. Oh, Leanne, this is like splitting hairs or like asking me which cat I love more, Lego or Mahjong. Oh, yikes. I collect both. I would say currently at this moment, maybe Mahjong has pulled ahead just because I am really obsessed with it right now. But I really do love Lego, and I just laid down some cash for some Lego because they came out with a Monet, and it's bridge over, oh my word, the lily pads, right? No, I can't remember what it is. But it's one of his paintings. It's based on a Monet painting. And I have been to Monet's home in Giverny and seen the bridge and seen the water. And so I just have like an emotional attachment to it. So I ordered that. And they've also, I just saw this on Instagram, the Met, like the museum, hired a Lego artist to recreate that entire painting. I think it might even be the exact same size out of Lego. And he's like using little itty bitty pieces and like putting them together. Water lilies. Thank you. Bridge over water lilies. Yes. I couldn't remember. I'm like, lily pads? That didn't sound right. Water lilies. Let's see. Oh, this is a really interesting question. If you could get a dragon, which type, color, shape, personality would you get? I feel like I need to know more about dragons because I don't know much. I feel like I need to watch How to Train Your Dragon, or I need to watch Game of Thrones, or I need to watch something that has dragons in it. I don't know. Sorry, I don't have a good answer for that. Let's see here. Gail says, do you craft with your mom? My mom was a fantastic knitter. I miss her. I love that we shared a love for using our gifts for others. I love that she taught me that value. You know what? I don't think I have. Like, there's been many times when I'm like sitting down with my mom and she's crocheting or knitting while we're talking. That has happened. No, I don't think that we've crafted together like that. Although my mom recently has gotten into coloring. Yeah. So, and I was like, oh, I have these markers that you can use. I got all excited, but she's very happy just with the markers she got on Amazon. She's doing like, almost like it looks like a Zentangle that's black and white and then you color it in. She's doing that type of stuff. So, but yeah. Let's see here. Lori's asking, what is your schedule for live teaching the rest of the year? Love to meeting and learning from you at Mom Elephant. Oh, good. Yay. And Monet, been there too. Amazing. I do not have any live in-person teaching events. I think I'm back to online unless a company has a live event somewhere. But yeah, I think we'll probably have an online card class sometime this spring. I have not figured out, we haven't figured out dates for that. I had mentioned in the past to some of you that we were hoping for Gina Kay to teach a class, but her daughter's in the middle of getting married, so it was not good timing. So maybe later in the year for Gina. But in the meantime, we're hoping we can team up with another company. We'll see. We're not sure who that would be, or we might do another one of our just online card classes and not have it be with a company. So we'll see. Did I design for Stampin' Up? If so, what time frame? I did. I designed product for Stampin' Up between the years of 2006 and 2009, although I still had product come out like after I left. So roughly about 3.5 years in there. Okay. Oh, Did you get the kitty Lego? Yes. Although I think it's back ordered right now. We have ordered it. We have the black and white one, the tuxedo that looks exactly like Manny, my old cat that I had for 5 years from 2010 to 2015. Looks exactly like him, and it's like the same size. Although I think Manny was just a little bit bigger. But anyway, they came out with an orange cat. So we have ordered it, but I think it's back ordered right now. So I don't think it's going to come here for a bit. Let's see. Answer a few more questions. All right. There's a question from Lena about inspiration for my releases. It's a little bit like the question I had earlier. I feel like I answered that, so I'm not going to answer it again. Let's see this other one. For a new crafter on a limited budget, what would be the ideal thing to collect, dies or stencils to make cards? Oh, that's hard. Well, I would say a little bit of both. Get like pattern stencils, something that you can build like layered stencils or something that builds a whole scene or something, or like fills the card. But then also smaller greeting dies. That's probably what I recommend. Okay, I think it's that question. What's your favorite place you've gone in your travels, or one of your favorites? And then we'll check on the paste. I don't know. We'll go look at it. My favorite place I've traveled to. Well, just because I just mentioned it, Giverny, Monet's home was amazing. We didn't even go in his house. We were just walking around the garden outside. We didn't have enough time to go into the house. It was very, very busy the day we were there, and we knew we wouldn't have time to go all around. So we only walked to the gardens. But I would love to go back and see inside the house, because I've heard that inside the house is just as spectacular. So we'll see. I really love Paris. I was surprised how much I loved Paris. I was nervous about it because I had heard lots of probably stereotypical things about the French people, that sometimes they can be unfriendly to Americans, but I didn't notice that. They were very friendly, and generally very helpful. I don't speak any French. I probably should do some Duolingo and learn some French. But I really loved Paris. I loved the museums. I loved, you know what? I really loved Barcelona. I basically love everywhere that I've been. There haven't been very many places where I'm like, I don't want to come back. Like most places, I'm like, I would enjoy coming back. I loved Austria. I loved Vienna. Both times that I've been to Vienna were amazing. I would love to go and just stay. I was always like there just on a river cruise, so it was very brief, just like 1 or 2 days. I would love to go back. But anyway. Well, yeah, yes, croissants in France. Yes, Diana. Diana says, I've never had that experience in France. People always nice. I think if they know that you're curious and you're friendly and you're, I don't know. I also think it is what you make of it. You know what I'm saying? Wendy, my 19-year-old walked into the room and said, dang, Christina's looking good, as if he knows you. Thought you'd love to know you're turning heads with Gen Z. Well, thank you. Thank you, Wendy's 19-year-old son. That's too funny. Yes. Monkey King Coffee says, people in Europe are so kind. Yes, that's what I've experienced as well. All right, hold on. Okay, how do I, closing the question, and we're going to go check the paste. We're going to check the paste here. Okay. Overhead. I'm going to come over here and grab the, I think we went like almost 30 minutes. I guarantee it's not going to be dry, but let's see here. Ooh, it's not completely dry. Some of it just transferred to my fingers, but it's looking really cool. Look at that. That was just like a particularly good stenciling. It turned out great. All right. So unfortunately, I'm going to have to hit this with my heat tool quite a bit to really get it dry. So I apologize in advance for sitting here and drying it over and over again forever. I apologize. But here we go. Actually, I'm going to do what I was doing when I dried it earlier. And basically, I used the shimmer paste to hold it up so that it had a little bit of airflow underneath. And that really helped it dry faster. And I'm just keeping it moving. It does look like fancy flooring or linoleum. It tends to curl when I dry it from the back. Oh, my nail just went into it there. Oops. I come from underneath. All right, I think it's starting to dry because I can hold the edges and it's not transferring the paste to my fingers. Wendy, I feel like Americans are way more obnoxious than the French, and I'm American. I would agree with that. Yes, and then someone said, I think the rude French stereotype rumor may come from people who travel with the expectation that things will be like at home. Yeah, that's true. I think that's true. And then Leanne says, exactly, being respectful of where you are versus thinking they need to be what you want them to be. Exactly. Yes. I think it's nearly dry because as I'm heating from the back, it's no longer curling. Yeah, I think it might be really, really close to dry. It is still very flexible. All right, it's pretty hot. I'm going to let that just sit for a minute. But I'm very happy with the colors I chose. I think that's going to look great. I think I want to cut this down a little bit so that it will fit on an A7 card a little bit better. Like take, I don't know. How much do I want to take off the side here? Maybe like ½ an inch off each edge. I think that's right. I'm going to cut this down. It does give it like a really nice sharp edge when I do that too, because I'm cutting it down. Okay. It basically makes the finished piece 4x6. Okay. Oh yeah, that looks nice. Okay. Look how neat that looks. It just looks really, really cool. I'm going to grab a folded A7 card base. And I'm going to put some foam tape on the back of this piece here. Will I be at Simon Says Create? No, I won't be there this year. Concord Night has a couple of people that man their table, so I won't need to be there. Okay, I'm just going to do one more right down the middle. No saggy middles for us. Okay. All right. I really do love having like a nice thick frame, like having the white show. I do that a lot. Oh, don't adhere yet. Dang it. I wasn't ready. That's okay. We'll make it work. I think I'm gonna cut a little bit off these two sides because it's not quite centered. My foam was a little excited there. I'm gonna take just a little bit off just to get it kind of centered up. And because this is kind of a thicker card with the paste, and then we're gonna pop up the grading and everything, taking a little off the sides will actually help it fit into an envelope better. Okay, so, oh, now I took off too much. Whatever. Now it's not centered the other way. Too cute. Okay. That really bugs me. I can't do it. I can't. Come off. Okay, how am I going to fix this? We are going to cut it off the card, and then we'll adhere it to a new card base. This card is going to be so heavy. But then I could just use tape runner and adhere it. And this time I'll get it centered exactly how I want it. So that's okay. And I'm still going to save this other half of this card because sometimes I need a heavier white cardstock, so I can save it. Okay. Now I can do this. I don't know what that was about. Okay, here we go. I'm going to be really careful to get this centered just right before I really stick it down. Helps that I'm standing up like Kathy Zielski always does. Okay, I think that's much more centered. I feel better about that. Okay, and then, oh, I love that. Let me take this. Oh, wow, we could have it go all the way across. Should I cut it down so it's more like a regular little sentiment strip, or should I have it be centered and go all the way across? Like, what do you think? Should I have it go all the way across? Or should it just be a little bit? You know what? I think I do want to cut it. Now people are saying, all the way across. Because because it is a little different. I also could do, if I wanted to, I could turn it this way. And I could even have it coming in from the side. That's a little different. And then like give it like at an angle or something. It's a little different. I don't know. All right, I got to decide here. Which one do I like better? I do kind of like it all the way across. It's different. I feel like if I'm going to do it all the way across, I might want to move it down here. I kind of like it near the bottom. I kind of like it down there. Well, now we're discovering that really it could go any of these ways. Landscape, top or bottom. I do kind of like it right there. And it is a little different. Okay, let's adhere this one first. I think I need to take about that much off. And I'm going to take a little strip of foam. Let's see, because it's going to be right there. And then about like that. Oh, I kind of want it to go along with the angle. Hold on. Haha. There we go. Now it matches the angle. But I think I do want it to just be a little shorter. Okay, there we go. Alrighty. We'll just put it about right there. And then this, I'm going to use glue on the back. And I'm going to try to get the glue only behind the letters. But I want to keep it a little bit blobby because it might adhere over places where there isn't any of the paste. Okay. All right, gonna kind of drag it over a little bit right there. All right, I'm gonna put paperweight on top. Making sure it's really adhered down. Okay, here we go. Let's see. Perfect placement tools from Hedgehog Hollow. I have not. Something to do with centering. Sweet. Okay. All right, I'm going to clean this up a little bit. Then we'll do a little spiel for those watching the edited replay. They're not going to get the Q&A with it. So they're going to miss out. But that's okay. Okay. Have a little schmutz. There we go. I got it. Oh my word, I love this card. Seriously, I love how, like, depending on how you view it, it's like an emerald, like a sapphire blue, but then it's like teal. It's really dynamic. And it really does look like a floor. Okay, I'll do a spiel for those watching the edited replay. So here is the finished card. Lots of waiting time. I did speed that up a little bit with the heat tool, but overall, I think it turned out beautifully. The stencil set really lends itself to this layered paste look. I think it just looks really, really neat. I love how sometimes it looks like a bright blue, and then other times it looks a little bit more like a teal. Just, it's like a chameleon. Okay, let's look at this up close. It's just beautiful. I love it. And it has kind of like a plasticky feeling, like you just want to touch it. It's really, really cool. All right, well, thanks so much for watching. I'll be back later this week with another card video, an edited video for all of you. So I hope you'll come back and check it out. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll catch you guys next time. Okay. All right, we did good. Under 90 minutes to finish this card. I think it worked out great. So, answer lots of questions. Like actual crafting time, I think it really was only about 45 minutes, maybe even less, but it worked out pretty well. Thank you so much for all of your questions tonight. That was a really fun chat. Lots of fun things to go over. And I'll be back next week on Monday live again. In the meantime, I do have a video that I filmed with my members here at YouTube. So I'm going to edit that down, and I'm hoping I'll be able to share that maybe on Friday or Thursday or Friday, one or the other. So thanks so much for stopping by tonight. I'm going to close up the video now. Thank you so much to everyone in the chat. You guys are always so friendly and answering questions for each other, and just so amazing. So thanks so much for watching and joining me tonight. I will see you guys next time.